The grocery line miracle shopping cart sparkles. The grocery store was unusually crowded that evening, the kind of crowd that made every checkout line feel endless. Carts overflowed with weekly supplies, tired children clung to parents, and the soft hum of impatience filled the air. Among them stood Emma, counting the few items in her basket and the even fewer coins in her wallet. She shifted from one foot to the other as the cashier scanned her groceries, bread, milk, eggs, and a small bag of rice. When the total appeared on the screen, her heart sank. She was short. Not by much, but enough to matter. Emma quietly apologized and began removing the rice from the counter, her face warming with embarrassment. That's when a gentle voice behind her spoke. "Please, add it back. I've got it." Emma turned to see an elderly man with kind eyes and a warm smile. He was holding only a loaf of bread, waiting patiently in line. Before she could protest, he placed a few bills on the counter, nodding reassuringly. "It's all right," he said softly. "I've been there." The cashier smiled, the line seemed to relax, and Emma felt something unexpected, relief mixed with gratitude so strong it nearly brought tears. She thanked him over and over, but he simply waved it away. As Emma left the store, she noticed the man struggling slightly with his bag. Without thinking, she rushed back and offered to carry it to his car. Along the way, they shared a few laughs and stories, small moments but meaningful ones. Before parting, the man said, "Kindness has a way of coming back when you need it most. Just pass it on." Days later, Emma found herself behind someone in another grocery line, a young mother, counting coins with the same worried look Emma once had. Without hesitation, Emma stepped forward. "Please," she said gently, "I've got it." And just like that, the miracle in the grocery line continued, quiet, simple, and powerful, one small act of kindness at a time. Yellow heart shopping cart. Emma sat in her car for a long moment before turning the key. The grocery bag rested on the passenger seat, lighter than it should have been, yet heavier with meaning. The kindness she had just received replayed in her mind, the calm voice, the unassuming smile, the way the man had helped without asking for anything in return. On the drive home, memories surfaced. Late nights, stretching meals, calculating expenses down to the last coin. She had learned to live carefully, quietly, never asking for help. That moment in the grocery line had cracked something open inside her, not weakness, but hope. At home, Emma unpacked the groceries slowly. The bag of rice, the one she almost left behind, felt like a small victory. She cooked a simple meal and ate in silence, feeling full in a way that had nothing to do with food. For the first time in weeks, the tight knot of worry in her chest loosened. The next morning, she returned to the same grocery store. Not because she needed anything, but because she felt drawn there. She watched people stand in line, some rushed, some tired, some quietly anxious. She noticed the things she used to overlook: trembling hands counting change, forced smiles hiding heavy thoughts, children asking for treats their parents couldn't afford. Emma began a quiet habit. When she could, she paid for a forgotten item, returned a dropped coin, offered her place in line to someone in a hurry. None of it was grand. None of it made headlines. But each small act felt like placing a stone into a growing bridge, connecting people who never knew they needed one another. One evening, she saw the elderly man again. He stood near the fruit section, carefully examining apples. She approached him, heart pounding, unsure if he would even remember her. "You helped me last week," she said softly. In the checkout line. He smiled instantly, as if he had been waiting for this moment. "Ah," he said, "then you're doing okay." They spoke for a while, about the store, the weather, the small routines that shape a life. Before they parted, Emma thanked him again, this time with steadier confidence. "I'm trying to pass it on," she said. The man nodded, eyes bright. That's how miracles grow, he replied. And as Emma walked away, she realized something important. The grocery line hadn't just changed her day, it had changed the way she saw the world. Every line, every stranger, was now a chance for kindness to quietly unfold. Yellow heart sparkles. Weeks passed, yet the memory of that evening in the grocery line stayed alive within Emma, quietly shaping her days. Kindness had become something she carried with her, like a lens through which she now viewed the world. She noticed how heavy silence could be, how much people longed to be seen without being questioned. One rainy afternoon, the grocery store buzzed again with restless energy. Carts squeaked, umbrellas dripped at the entrance, and impatience stretched thin. Emma stood in line with a small basket, watching a woman ahead of her struggle to calm a crying child while scanning prices with worried eyes. The woman's hands shook slightly as she reached for her wallet. When the total appeared, the woman hesitated. Her child clutched her coat, whispering, "Mama, it's okay. We don't need the cookies." The words struck Emma deeply. She remembered her own quiet sacrifices, the way dignity often hid behind small refusals. Emma stepped forward. "Please," she said gently to the cashier, "add them back." The woman turned, startled. "Oh no, I couldn't." "I understand," Emma said softly. "More than you know." Tears welled in the woman's eyes as she nodded, speechless. The child smiled for the first time, pressing the cookie box to their chest like treasure. It wasn't about sugar or treats, it was about feeling safe, just for a moment. As the woman left, she whispered, "I'll never forget this." Neither would Emma. Later that evening, Emma noticed something unexpected. The cashier, who had watched countless hurried transactions, smiled more warmly at each customer. A man in the next line offered his spot to an elderly shopper. Someone helped another load groceries into their car under the rain. The store felt different, lighter, softer, as if kindness had settled into its walls. Days later, Emma received a handwritten note slipped under her apartment door. It was from the young mother. She had asked around, hoping to find her. "You didn't just buy cookies," the note read. "You reminded me that the world hasn't forgotten us. Today, I helped a neighbor with groceries. I hope this keeps going." Emma held the note close, her chest tight with emotion. She realized kindness didn't disappear once given, it multiplied, quietly passing from hand to hand, heart to heart. That night, as she prepared for bed, Emma thought of the elderly man and his words, "That's how miracles grow." She finally understood. The miracle wasn't the money, or the groceries, or even the moment itself. The miracle was the invisible chain of compassion, ordinary people choosing, again and again, to ease each other's burdens, even in the smallest ways. And somewhere, in another grocery line, another miracle was already beginning. Yellow heart spark.